All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We've switched over channel. We're going to be playing just a bit more Planetside 2, showing you some more what the game has to offer. My name is Totalbiscuit, as always, joined by Margaret Crone this time around. Welcome.
Hey, it's nice to be back again.
Yeah, it has been a while since our last cast, but it is now no longer E3. This is PAX Prime, and we've got a bit more of an advanced game to show everybody.
Yeah, and we have a different camera angle, so hopefully that will help. And it's day one, so...
Yes, it is. Day one. So by day three, expect to see some ghoulish figures on the stage as we get horribly, horribly exhausted. Let's go in game and see what we have to see. So, for the most part, we're going to be having a look at this game from an aerial view, and that's why. That is why, is because you get to see some fairly exceptional stuff at night time. So, this aerial view being piloted by Clegg. So, if it crashes into a mountainside at some point, you know why.
Yes, his clegging up things is... happens quite often. We actually saw quite a bit of that from the Terran Republic earlier.
We did. I'm fairly sure there was some spying action going on. I can't really explain it otherwise. I mean, why would our pilots throw away so many useful Galaxy dropships? I mean, it just seems ridiculous. That would never happen.
So we have right here, it seems like a bunch of tanks that are trying to roll down here. I think that guy might need some repairs, so that might be why they're stopped.
Yeah, I believe those look like Vanu, actually, no, NC most likely. I mean, that's the large base up there. You can see the combination of the base on the ground with the tower. That's a fairly large and significant outpost, and it's worth holding on to that.
Got some Vanu coming right up this bridge off the side.
Well, they're going to try and take that area. The question is, do they have enough vehicles to make that happen? Well, there's one of them gone. You see an NC trooper on the side of the hill there. Incredibly useful to be able to just pick away at vehicles that are trying to push their way up the hill with a heavy assault rocket launcher.
Okay.
Take the swap it round and take your left ear off your head. Just having a couple of technical difficulties. Just give us a moment, folks.
Try this. All right,
wonderful. There we go. All sorted out. Right, that makes things a lot easier. The problem with headsets this good is they also block out everything else. So
yeah.
It's difficult to hear what the commentators are actually saying. So, all right, back to the gameplay, which is what you guys are here to see anyway. So at the moment, it's a little bit difficult to tell what's going on, but it's usually a good idea to look at the color of the tracer fire to indicate who is getting involved in this. A lot of blue, a lot of purple. I'm not seeing a lot of red.
Nope. We have some tanks that are rolling down this hill and also taking the bridge, so...
That area is a death trap. Yeah. It really is. Already throughout the beta, we've been seeing areas on this map that turn out to be really great engagement points. Everyone seems to love the Crown, actually. That area seems to be a huge hotspot all the time. People really love fighting over it.
Yeah, you get a lot of air battles there, too, because of the positioning of the mountains on the side. So, you either go down there and it's a giant death trap, or you're going up, so...
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be doing tank warfare in this canyon. It seems incredibly dangerous, especially at night. You'll notice like there's cover to the right-hand side there that can be used by infantry. So there's a lot of rockets heading in that direction, max units engaging on the ground as well. It's dangerous.
Yeah, but if you're careful and you see this rock range right in the middle there, if you're good at like popping in and out of that, especially with mag raiders because they're so agile, you can really get some pocket shots off and get back in there and then kind of repair if there's not people up on that ridge. Which hopefully you have some air support, so...
Yeah, it's always useful to get. Mag Riders are really rather unique, honestly, when it comes to tanks, because they can engage in completely different ways to your normal main battle tank.
Got some Vanguards and Lightnings.
Yeah, very much the aerial view there, so if you wanted to release a Planetside 2 RTS, this would be the way to do it. It's actually what it looks like. I mean, you've got so much going on the ground. It looks like a real-time strategy game, but every single person, every single unit is piloted by a real player.
Trying to pocket shots up into that bridge, it looks like, but they're missing. Oh, they're getting some
Vanu
in.
pushing forward again, taking a lot of fire from there.
They're slowly getting up this ridge. I probably would not have taken the low ground like that because they're just getting plummeted by stuff.
It's a nightmare, actually, pushing up there. Even with a lot of main battle tanks, you've got a Sunderer pushing forward there. He's taking rocket hit after rocket hit as he tries to get in a position. The shields are now back up on the Sunderer that takes yet another rocket hit from the ground. We've got 3 or 4 Mag Riders there, as well as... Is that an... Oh, it's an NC Vanguard, actually.
It's a Vanguard.
NC Vanguards and Lightnings rolling down the hill to try and engage.
Yeah, I don't know what this Sunderer was thinking over here. He kind of got himself trapped.
That was not an ideal situation. Sunderers have problems going up hills. They're big fat buses, and they don't do so well in that situation.
Well, not only that, but that terrain right there was just not good for him.
Yeah, definitely not ideal. Look at the amount of rocket troopers that are there on that ledge. That's a perfect spot to plink away. You got
get some engineers, too, with the turrets.
Deployed turrets, very handy, a lot of damage. If you want to defend a position, you want to get your engineers to slap turrets down, and that's a perfect place to go. And, whoa, Sunderer's on the way.
Oh, he's running right over. Oh, he got a... Oh, lots of air right there. That was
Coming
pretty
soon,
cool.
Tony Hawk's Pro Sunderer. Free to play, go to a PC near you. And, well, that's one way to clear the tanks out. Actually, an ideal attack with 2 coordinated Reavers decimating the ground. And the Mag Riders are starting to fall back as the NC is able to push all the way back down with superior firepower. I've got to say, as much as you might like your Vanu brethren, they don't exactly build their tanks all that well, do they? They just fall apart so easily.
Oh, they're not too bad. They got the firepower, though. That's all that really matters.
There's a lot of firepower in this area.
First.
I don't want to drive up there. I don't want to be anywhere near that. If I'm going to get up there, I want to sneak up there as an infiltrator. I want to be airdropped in. I do not want to drive up that hill in a tank.
Yeah, I don't think that taking that with tanks is probably the best idea. Aircraft would be the better idea. Well, for attacking, because of the fact that you have the high ground as a defender, so you're just going to be able to keep that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Defended for quite a long time.
If you have tanks up on the hill along with max support and heavy artillery,
and
it's so easy to hold it. You've got so much firepower in a concentrated place. You can pull back and the Sunderer can rearm and repair you, or engineers on the ground can deal with that too. So yeah, I mean, I'm thinking for that base you want to be looking at Galaxy drops.
Which we haven't quite seen a lot of those today.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, I think a lot of the beta players are very much focusing on vehicular warfare as opposed to Galaxy dropping. I think that it's half a patience thing, because when you deploy a Galaxy on the ground, you've got to wait for people to get into it. Some people don't want to, and it's hard to trust your pilots sometimes.
I think that's
probably the biggest deal, actually.
I've seen quite a bit of times wherever I'm playing, and there's always like a Galaxy at the warp gate, and they're filling up, and they drop. We're taking places and stuff like that. So there's a bit of coordinated play in there, even with just people who aren't outfitted. But you see, when you see like 74, TR forming up in a warp gate, you're like, oh man, that's gonna be brutal.
Yeah, they're gonna be rolling in 5 Galaxies. That's a little bit difficult to kill. And so you're trying to make a breakout here.
Just watching the Sunderers
that was a
fly
bad idea,
down.
actually. That was just Sunderers leaping like lemmings from the top of that hill.
And they're being good about defending too, and also still bringing aircraft. I mean, that tower's awesome because
super important in this situation. So. Right? You've got a very narrow corridor. You'd surely want to just try and wipe out what's on the ground. It's currently exactly what's happening as the NC are able to hold on to that base to the top.
Looks like they might be filling up a Galaxy, maybe?
Possibly. Yeah, it is deployed. The question is do we have anyone inside it?
Hopefully whenever we progress this view, we'll be able to, see how many people are in a vehicle and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, another way of dealing with tanks slowly pushing up a hill is to drop troops right on top of them. They can do it. It's a bit risky,
a bunch of heavy assault, just drop on and rocket launch them.
Nothing wrong with that. It can work. You just throw them down there, and then horrible things end up happening to whatever they land on.
We used to do that in Planetside. We would get into like a Liberator or a Gal and just drop on BFRs and take them all out with decimators.
Yeah, it works. Totally valid strategy. Well, the Vanu actually hold the outpost down at the bottom there, and well, that's red tracer fire. Looks like maybe there's some TR involved in this somewhere.
Your buddies are finally getting in the fight. They own this tower, so...
Yep, that's ours. You ain't getting anywhere near that. We actually own the base there too, by the way. So we ain't going anywhere for a while. Attempts to attack the tower proving unsuccessful there by the Vanu.
Well, it looks like they survived, so he just dropped some bombs on top of there. Got out quick. Not sure what this guy's trying to do exactly.
Yeah, a little bit of nice scythe play going on just to try and deal with that. But I think the last thing you want to do is try and engage an AA turret with a scythe and see how that one goes for you. Probably not well.
That's when you hit your afterburners and get out.
Certainly.
Some drop pods.
I mean, this area seems pretty secure for the Vanu, honestly. I think the Vanu are definitely on the offensive trying to make their way there, because they can grab that tower area, then, as far as I'm aware, that tower is actually a part of the base itself. It's a part of the capture points for that particular facility, so you need to take that if you want to take the whole base.
Yeah, and I think they have a Galaxy back there deployed too, so they have a easy way to spawn, and it's nearby, as long as they can continue to press.
Indeed.
Got some people with rocket launchers up top, using that foreground.
Certainly the best option. I very much like, if I'm going to do anything with infantry in this kind of situation, I like using those air pads. I mean, if you look at that, you've got maybe 10, 12 troops up there.
Yeah, but if you get a lib and just go right over that, bam, 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 they're all dead.
I'll take my chances, especially with Vanu pilots. I'm not too worried about that.
Hey, hey. Some of us aren't clicking it up.
Look at that. That's a sight to see at night.
Explosions.
Well, the return fire is coming in. That's what I like to see. You know, this is why night combat is so damn cool, because you get to watch stuff like that. Tracer fire between bases, rockets flying either side. It's pretty rare to see that in any game, really.
You can kind of still see it in the daytime, but it's just
it's
not as bright. Yeah, the flash.
The lighting effects. It looks pretty damn awesome. At the moment, a little bit of a stalemate over there. I think the nice thing that we're seeing as well is that the combat's all over the continent at the moment. It's obviously concentrated in some areas, but it's not just in one place.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about Planetside, too, is that you can really strategize where you want to take bases. You can even, like, say, hey, we're going to attack this base full force, but we're going to send, like, you know, a few troops over here to kind of get some of their troops to move that way so that you're, you know, spreading them a little thin.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be a big risk. If you want to go for one concerted push, then there's also the problem as well that what happens if they just outflank you? They just take 5 facilities as you throw all your troops at one of them, and you end up stuck in the middle of the map, completely surrounded by 2 factions, and in a lot of trouble.
And it happens, yeah.
It does happen.
A lot. So either you're sitting there defending while you're hoping that your other friendlies are pushing in and trying to help you take the surrounding areas, or you're just sitting there.
Exactly. I remember being under siege in Planetside 1 a lot. There were several bases where it was very likely to happen because it was often surrounded by water, stuck in the middle of the map. So it was difficult to break out of that. And then when that happens, you better dig in because you're going to be there for a while. It's either that or you abandon it, and you don't want to do that.
And there would only be one location that they could really go in, or 2, you know, like those bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of choke points.
Absolutely.
And you still get that here. You'll see that the terrain, there's lots of choke points as far as like mountain ranges, the terrain as far as just dips and stuff like that with chasms. And then, you know, if you pull your aircraft out there, which we're seeing a lot of aircraft.
There's a metric ton of aircraft on the field right now.
Vanu
coming in, but taking heavy AA fire. Once again, TR actually owns the facility and is making full use of that. Ooh, what a mess. That's one thing about combat in Planetside, is it is very messy. It's very chaotic, and you're going to die a lot. And it's time that you best accept that and move on with your life.
You can survive quite a bit. I mean, I think a lot of people, you know, get into that mindset like FPS is only first person. You know, when you're traveling, you don't want to be without a tank or an aircraft when you're going long distances.
Certainly.
Get ran over.
And it happens a lot as well. You get run over by your friends, enemies, whoever. It just doesn't matter. Just don't be on a road on foot. It's unwise.
What's going on over here?
It's difficult to tell at night the difference between the NC and the VS. Not that I mind. I'll shoot at either of them, but that one's trying to land at the side of the mountain, which is not working out for it.
Well, I think he's also trying to avoid that because there's a bunch of bombs coming down as well.
Yeah. Certainly a bit messy. TR facility is being
There's
surrounded
like a
from all
Max
sides.
up there.
He's
A
doing
TR
all-
Max, he's like jumping around.
I could fly too, right? No, you can't. Oh, well,
Oh,
we had
wow.
AA. Not anymore,
Oh,
we
maybe
don't.
we might get him worry.
He's just bailed off the side right there. Wow, that was messy. That's what happens when you got a lot of concerted shelling on one area. Nothing has a tendency to live through that.
That aircraft's taking a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, they're missing. See, and well, if you'd noticed how he used that ridge right there, he just went down,
Yes.
and that kind of allowed him to get away from that fire range.
Super
But he's
smart
still getting
move.
hit a bit because the guy got a little higher, so if he goes down the ridge maybe a little bit more, he might not be seen.
Definitely, definitely.
But yeah, that's like the little tiny things that you can do with just ridges right next to bases.
It's always good to use the terrain to your advantage, without question.
Look at all these
Last thing you want to do is
aircrafts.
throw away a Galaxy. They're so expensive. Well, that's one way to deal with a base. Just park a Galaxy right in front of it.
We got a Sunderer.
There's so much fire coming in that direction. The Galaxies are tough, but I don't know if they're that tough.
Looks like we have a whole air squadron right here.
That's a huge air force. There's a Liberator directly above the base shelling it, but it's now been target fired down by a lot of anti-aircraft on the ground. Needs to get out of there immediately. You see another Liberator coming over there. The TR position is getting absolutely pounded.
This is a great location for them to take because it's going to be a lot easier for them to press out of this base if they can get it.
Yeah, TR's not going to give it up without a fight, though. There's no question about that. They're able to continue spawning here, bring out heavy assault and max units, and hopefully try and hold it to the best of their ability. I just wouldn't go outside right now. That's one of the best way to deal with it. Yeah,
They got
it's risky.
maxes.
It's more of a case of, look, just stay inside and stay out of the way of the Liberators.
Well, what you're seeing a lot of them do is use the cover. So we have a lot of, crates and whatnot around here that are allowing them to get cover quick, get a few pot shots in, and then get back again. And they're also using some of the doors as well like that, so.
Yeah, pop in, pop out, fire off a rocket. Rocket reload time is extremely long, so that's the
some
best
time.
thing you can do. Yeah, rightfully so. And also, the heavy assault shield can be used there to great effect. Just absorb bit damage, take a hit, maybe you can live through it. Pop back in, recharge your shield, get another rocket ready.
They
Try
really want
desperately
that
hold it.
location, though.
This is such a furball going on here. I think we've got Vanu and NC aircraft that are also shooting at each other as well as the TR base on the ground.
You can see other planets off in the distance.
It's always cool to watch the maneuvers you can pull off. Planetside 1 was very limited in its flight mechanics. You weren't able to do a full roll, for instance. Everything handled like a helicopter, but it was a very awkward helicopter. Here, aircraft actually handle like helicopters as well, but also well, usually they can do something like that if they don't crash into mountains, but they handle like helicopters. Actually, I've got the best description. Aircraft in Planetside handle like Airwolf.
Okay.
Because, you had that crazy helicopter that could do all the loops and the jets and everything like that. They still handle like a helicopter. They can hover like one. You've got to deal with the vertical element there. You could strafe side to side.
You had a lot more handling. Way more handling.
Yeah.
I think this takes a little bit more skill. So you're going to
It
have to...
actually does.
Yeah, you're going to have to find... I mean, once you get used to it, and I think I was doing some tours with some of the press, and I was kind of teaching them how to fly. And once they kind of got used to it, they're like, oh, wow, this isn't really that bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're a really skilled pilot, you can do a lot of maneuvers, just like you were saying, like flips, and you can use the sides of your wings perfectly to get into crevices that, like most people probably couldn't. So
It's a good way of getting rid of pursuit, certainly. It's definitely worth doing. But it's going to take a lot of getting used to. I think, actually, Planetside in general is like that. It's something that you're going to have to dedicate just a little bit of time to try and figure out exactly what's going on. I think if you first spawn into Planetside, it's very daunting. You don't really know what you're doing, what you're supposed to be doing. And the best advice that I can give there is find a squad. Get in a squad, find out what the squad is doing, follow the squad waypoint, get in a squad vehicle. They'll take you to where the fights are.
yeah, we make it really easy for you to squad up. We have auto squatting, so
Yep.
it auto joins you. You can opt out of that if you have a crew of people that you'd rather run with. But I think that's a great way to do that, and you can automatically talk to them in voice, communicate with them, figure out where you need to be,
Yep.
how to do something. And a lot of people are really helpful. So if you ask, hey, how do I do this? A lot of people on the server will be just gladly able to help you and tell you what to do and how to get a vehicle, how to get X, how to get Y.
It's in their best interests, honestly. I mean, it's a case of I would quite like you in my squad so you could take a few bullets for me. So have a few cannon fodder friends with you and you'll live longer. So
what I always tell my friends is, okay, get in a max suit.
Yeah.
And
that
I'll
means
fly
you
you
can
around.
take more bullets for me. Yeah, stand right in front of me, take those hits, and fire in the general direction of the purple things, right?
Yeah, and it kind of gives them an idea of how classes play together, too, because if you go engineer and they go max, you can repair them and kind of give them that idea of, you know, if you work with other infantry even, you're going to be able to complete objectives that you weren't, you know, able to do in some other games alone. The only thing is that maxes can't drive their own vehicles, they can't hack and stuff like that.
Well,
so
you have some
sometimes it can be
limitations of
confusing.
like things, don't you? Yeah.
Those
Otherwise,
things are powerful.
well, yeah, they are. That's something that people have been struggling with how to deal with. How do you deal with a max unit? It's something you've got to learn. Because you can kill them with conventional weapons, it's difficult. You've got to be aiming for the head.
Yes.
That's a new thing, actually. You know, in the original Planetside, aiming for the head was irrelevant. Everything was one hitbox.
Yep.
So, in this case, aim for the head of a max suit. You don't necessarily have to shoot with missiles, but that works too. Tank fire tends to clear out maxes pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah. In general, aiming for the head is a good idea.
Yeah, certainly.
But yeah, that wasn't
Don't
in
go toe-to-toe with a
Planetside.
max unit unless you are a max unit.
Yep. And we'll have vehicle stuff like that too. So, you know, if you put anti-armor on your, or like armor on your vehicle, you'll be able to take more shots on, you know, your left or your right or your back. So that's also some stuff that we're going to be implementing as well.
Well, the sun has now risen. The night was dark and full of terrors. Now, at least, it's looking a little bit less grim. You can see the rather verdant area that we're currently in. Even then, you're going to still see combat. It's all over the place.
Oh yeah, and you can see explosions from far away. Ooh, we got like a whole column of
Not one, not
vanguards
two, but
here.
3 vanguards. Oh, actually, hello, that's about 6 vanguards. 8 vanguards, maybe?
I think there's a lightning in there.
Lightning doesn't count. That's good. I see. That's a lot of vanguards rolling down there. You can see the wow, I think the vanguard just drove over the lightning. It's, get out of my way. You can't blame him either. Return
Wonder
fire
what the other
coming
three
in.
are doing.
I love the way when you get a tank push, you often get infantry behind it as well because they think,
Yeah.
all right, the tanks are big targets. I'm safer now. I can just run behind the tanks.
Something that a few of us have done too is when we see enemy tanks, we just get right on them, so they can't shoot you, and they don't
Yeah.
want to shoot their friend. So
It works. You can do it. More Vanguard tanks now rolling into position. Shelling that area as much as possible.
yeah, this is actually, if they can get a good angle, they can bombard that area right in the courtyard as well.
Definitely. Got to be a good shot though.
Yes. You can shoot aircraft with those things too if you're good.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like they're taking a lot of fire from the ground. They don't have any support either. In this position, if you were going to build a tank like, you need a Sunderer, you need engineers on the ground, because otherwise your tanks are toast.
Well, the NC is getting demolished.
Yes, indeed.
I think we're both okay with this.
That's something we can share. I love seeing the NC get absolutely
oh,
obliterated.
no. The
Scythe
Vanguard
comes
was
down.
trying to come down in the back and be all sneaky. Did not work out well for him.
No, it didn't. There's one Vanguard tank left now, and it's been pushed back quite significantly. And bear in mind that vehicles aren't free this time around. This is resources that are disappearing. And if you get into a situation where you can't afford a vehicle, you better get in someone else's.
Yeah, we still have the timers on vehicles, and you can, you know, use implants to make that timer go by faster.
Definitely.
But we have resources that are new concept. Planetside had resources, but it wasn't the same way that we're doing resources.
Yeah, the NTU was what
Yeah.
we're talking about there, which is a completely different thing. Like, obviously, we don't have that here in Planetside 2. It's not a factor.
Yep. So bases don't go neutral due to resource diminishing. But in this case, you get resources. Depending on how you're getting them, you're going to get different ones. And then you can spend those on, you know, attachments and vehicles and weapons and all kinds of things.
Yep. People asking what platform this is. This is a PC-only game.
Yep.
Consoles are too far behind. They couldn't play something like this now.
Looks like this vehicle's right in the rock.
It's an interesting place to park it. It's not bad, not a bad spawning point either, but I mean, they're having to push down this hill and having to deal with an awful lot. It's tricky. There's tons of Vanu tank fire coming in. Down goes another Scythe by the looks of it.
We have a bunch of scythes that are in the sky.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're useful for bombarding the ground. They're very quick. If you equip rockets on those things, they can blast apart tanks on the ground. and then hopefully get out of there without too much trouble.
The only thing that is with that galaxy is it's pretty easy to spot right there.
Yeah.
And the infantry have to run down that hill, which makes them very visible. Sniper fire, rockets.
Huge amounts of them. Well, NC making another considered push. Galaxy dropship on the way. Question is there anything in it?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I'm like wondering if there's going to be a drop.
Scythe's right behind it.
Oh, and it's taking a lot of fire. Look at all that.
Oh my.
Oh no.
It's not living through that. Look at that. That's brutal.
Wow.
Nothing survives to land on the ground. It got eviscerated. Oh, that's the remains of it.
Toasted.
Yeah, eviscerated by Vanu anti-air fire. And that's why you never go in with a single galaxy. It's just such a huge target.
Well, he didn't have any support at all. Like, what he should have done is some of those Reavers should have come down with him. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking.
Dropships are very valuable. They cost a lot of resources. If you're going to start throwing dropships away, then at the moment it's like 250 resources a dropship. That's a lot of resources. Yeah. And then suddenly you find your empire's out of resources. It's got no dropships. What are you going to do?
Sunder.
Yes, exactly. You're going to get in a big fat fun bus, and then you're going to drive down.
Takes a long time.
Yeah, that's also a big target. It's dangerous. The thing about fighting in Planetside 2 is that you see decisive moves made, but often than not, it's a very slow war of attrition. You're pushing forward to take ground inch by inch. Yes,
it's quite slow, and sometimes you'll come back to a battle that's almost exactly the same, like they're still fighting over the same
certainly.
base.
Well, that's the nature of persistent warfare. You know, it's not a case of 32 players on a map. It's a case of hundreds of players, thousands of players on the same map, and they're not going to budge anytime soon.
Yeah.
So.
And it's also that you're not ending a match either. It's constant battle.
Yeah, definitely.
Looks like they're trying to hit this Vanguard, but he keeps backing up. It's like, I don't want that.
Well, at least the Vanguard was in a good position. Now he's in a terrible spot. Vanguard versus Mag Rider. Here's the duel. Oh, that's a good hit right there.
Oh, he missed that.
Mag Rider needs to use its positional advantage. It's taking support fire. Looks like a Scythe's going in a strafing run. Vanguard is now on fire. Mag Rider closes in for the kill and picks it up.
Did.
That was a nice little bit of teamwork in action there, actually. I think that Mag Rider
actually a guy with a rocket launcher back there, too.
Yeah, the Mag Rider wouldn't have lived without the help from those two guys. That Vanguard was looking pretty dangerous.
Yeah, he wasn't playing that smart, and also, you know, trying to go uphill sometimes can be annoying if you don't have the right angle. So I'm not sure what his angle was on his side.
Yeah, certainly. One way or the other, you don't want to take a direct hit from a Vanguard. Pretty much the hardest hitting tank in the game right now.
It hurts.
Really difficult to deal with. The best thing you can do is just to avoid being hit entirely.
Well, I think that's the best thing to do in any case.
Yeah, usually. It helps. Vanguard particularly. As you can see, is a full view of one of the bases there and the surrounding bridge area. The nice thing that I'm seeing here as an old Planetside 1 player is that there's fighting everywhere, and it makes sense for the fighting to be there too. There didn't used to be. In the original Planetside, we suffered very much from having problems with where the fighting was taking place. The fighting would usually take place either on a bridge, or it'd be at a tower, or at a base. There wouldn't be any more in between because there was no reason. But now with territory control and smaller outposts, that's not a problem anymore. You've got reasons to be out there.
Yeah, and those outposts are also providing you a lot of vehicle support and things like that, where in Planetside, a lot of those were just towers, and those towers didn't provide you anything other than a spawn point that was near a base. And we're also allowing you to, you know, use the terrain a lot better than in the past, and we're, you know, using a lot of BI to see where those choke points are, where people are dying, so we can be like, okay, this is where we want people to be dying. Why are they dying over here? That's not where they should be. And so that allows a lot of the designers for our levels to change things and make, you know, improvements on our battlefield.
Yeah, you can end up getting stuck in a big choke point, and it could become incredibly unpleasant. So I guess with the beta, as you said, they can sometimes change choke points, but hopefully not always, because as many people have already pointed out, the Crown is a great battle place, and it's because of the way that the terrain's been designed and the position of that base that you get such great battles out there.
Yeah, I mean, the great thing about it is that even though you're a defender, you still feel like, you know, you can push out. And then as an attacker, you're able to kind of set up defenses and attack points as well. So it's a lot of pushing back and forth, which I think people love. I mean, that's what draws you to a location to actually battle.
Yeah, certainly. It's a very fluid thing as well. I mean, it's not a case of, hey, we're going to design this level in such a way that you have to fight here. The battles happen for a reason because you have to get from place to place somehow. You can't just magically get an entire army to one place without having to transport them.
Yeah.
So naturally, the other sides are going to be trying to intercept those reinforcements as they come in, and if they don't, they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yes. Especially when you see, you know, 5 galaxies with support, and you're like, oh man, we got to take those up before they get to our base.
We got to do something about that. And how do you do that? I mean, galaxies are so tough. You've got to get an awful lot of anti-aircraft, or you've got to get a lot of interceptors ready to deal with it.
And I think as we progress, we're going to be able to see a lot more of that play where people are scouting and saying, hey, there's a whole bunch of people coming up this ridge.
Yeah.
Or even like hiding out near warp gates, kind of, you know, spotting what's coming in and out of there.
It's definitely a useful thing to do, and outfits would be very much advised to keep their empire abreast of what's happening.
And what you see here, this giant beacon of light, is actually our spawning beacons. And if you're a squad leader, we actually have a squad leader tree. And you'll be able to certain that, and you are able to get different things. And one of them is that. And you can place it on the ground and allow people that are in your squad to spawn near you. And that's an amazing thing for you to press into bases.
Certainly. And
as long as you put it in the right place.
Yeah. If you put it right out in the open, then you're just drawing a squad into horrible demise. Not a good idea. Got to be a little careful with it. That's the time when you stop trusting your squad leader and find a different squad.
Yeah, and those cost resources too. So you not only do you have to certain them, you have to purchase them.
Nice big overhead view of what's going on here.
And something to note too, that we were talking about how big the bases were and how different they were, and the terrain is different. Each of our bases, even though it's, you know, this may be a tech plant and that may be a tech plant, they're a little different. We place different crates in different areas, different buildings in different areas, and then also the way you take them sometimes isn't going to be the same because we'll have different capture mechanics.
It's nice to be able to see this big aerial view and actually get an idea of how big this place is.
Yeah, the map's huge. I mean, if we have Clegg here, who's driving for us, he can show us the map too. Like, this is the area that you're standing in is such a small portion. It's just one little hex in the entire map, and he's going to zoom us out. So this is where you are.
Yep.
And then when you zoom out, like, that's just one little hex, and you're not even in that whole entire hex. It takes you a while to fly around that. But you see, like, our map's huge.
Yeah, and that's the fight going on. NC have got a bit more of the map than I would like, certainly, and there are some pretty heavy engagements. Those hotspots are indicative of very large fighting going on. This base appears to be a hugely contested area. We've got what appears to be Vanu versus NC there. That's the crown. That is the place that everyone seems to love to fight. That great fire base in that area, the bridges and the canyons. Yeah, super cool place. The NC currently hold that, but they're going to lose it to the Vanu very shortly. And that's the border with the Terran Republic forces, who actually have a biolab, which I believe is that one right there.
Yep. So the Terran Republic, I believe, own, yes.
I'll be done at 5. Could we, after that? Thank you. So what we can see right here is a very large open field where vehicular warfare would work out really, really well indeed.
Yes.
But the problem is for aircraft coming in this area, there are actually so many trees that you've got to deal with.
I don't think that's... If you're really good, this is, again, where we were talking about maneuvering around trees. I love flying in between them because you get locked on by aircraft or, you know, other vehicles, or even infantry that are locking onto you. And you can use these trees to kind of just strafe through and get around and kind of just bombard and then go back up through the trees. But you are kind of a little bit... I mean, it is harder because you're in an open space. You don't have a lot of cover other than the trees. Yeah. So if you hit the tree, you're going to probably die.
Certainly. You can see a nice force of Terran Republic armored units rolling in to try and take this area from the Vanu. I like the use of Sunderer support actually near the back. You're able to take a lot of hits on the Sunderer, but you can also use the rearm functionality. Look, there's another one back there, actually, which means those Prowlers aren't going anywhere, neither is that Lightning.
Yeah, and that Lightning, you could see that the guy was actually repairing his Lightning. He was using that rock to give himself protection.
Smart guys, yeah. Those vehicles might look dangerous, but they can be taken down very quickly.
We saw a galaxy, I think.
No, yeah, I saw the shadow of a
yeah,
galaxy.
I saw the
It's around there
shadow.
somewhere.
Not sure where it went. Maybe over there to that base. Yeah, and these air pads actually repair and provide more ammo for your vehicles. And you see that one on the ground also does that for like ground vehicles. Unless you think you can get your Sunderer up there on that air pad.
I'll give it a shot. Yeah. we need to get a Lodestar back in here so we can drop the Sunderer on the air pad.
Oh, yeah. Get little hooks and carry it.
I don't know a single person that liked flying that brick. Really is. That was an ugly, ugly aircraft. It was essentially one flying box that you put a big vehicle in.
But it provided so much to the battlefield.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
I think it did a great job with ant drops because you were able to take a lot of damage. I mean, you're just a giant brick.
Yeah. You're about as maneuverable as one, too.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a problem there. It looks like the Prowlers are taking significant damage right there, trying to back off, make sure the Sunderer support and engineers can get them fixed up. Losing your vehicle at this stage is not a good idea. A Scythe comes in with a strafing run to try and take down a Prowler on the ground.
Looks like they might be doing a drop right here.
Is there anyone in it?
Yes.
I mean, that's a good place to put a spawn point if you can keep it alive, but
I don't
that's
think
a
he's
target
going
and a
to.
half. Galaxy's now deployed and it's taking a bit of fire. What's going on the ground here?
I can't really
And maybe
tell.
zoom in a bit more.
Looks like they're going to try to take this point together. Not really sure. That's a pretty good squad that we're
Yes,
working
that's
together
actually
right
some
there.
nice squad play.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a Galaxy in a good spot, which is fairly well supported. They've got medics in the back that you can
Yep.
see there. This is actually a really well coordinated TR attack that's going to come take this. The Vanu not going to stand much of a chance, I don't think.
And again, this is the camera that he's using, the free cam, is kind of a new thing for us, so it'll get better.
Yeah, exactly. This is
kinda hard
just put in,
indoors.
so it's really hard to use, and it's being driven by one of the developers at the moment. But I say that tower's ours.
Yeah, I think you're going to take it from us.
Yeah, good luck. Really nice coordinated effort, actually, there by the TR. It's just an example of small squad play that can be used to take an area very effectively.
We've got another gal here, too. So
Good place to put the Galaxy down there, but it is taking a bit of fire now.
And someone put down a squad beacon also.
You see, now we have the tower, we can start using it to deal damage to the Vanu over there. That looks like the next objective.
It's still going to take them a bit to take this. If
Yeah.
if the Vanu really do want to come back and take it, but
Yeah, I mean, this is
I
a
don't think they
facility
are.
that's got more than one capture point as well, so they've got to deal with that too.
got some
In the
mag
meantime-
riders coming up this hill. And
Oh, you want to
that's a
come up the hill?
lightning.
Well, they're dealing with the NC, actually. I think this is the second attack we've seen on this facility, and the NC have tend to held on to this without too much of a problem. Mostly because any attempt to drive up that hill in armored vehicles is very difficult.
Yeah,
I could see maybe a Sunderer crash might work, maybe get an armored front and then crash a few Sunderers up there right into the building.
Yeah, that could actually work if they can get up there. I mean, one of those Sunderers, if they get a bunch of full Sunderers, one of them is going to make it up there, at least.
Yeah.
I think the best, I don't know why we haven't seen a lot of aircraft coming in for this base. We've been seeing a lot of tank runs, whether it's from the TR or the VS. It looks like they are pushing, and they're holding this area right here.
Yeah, having this area is so important. This is the problem they had the first time is they couldn't actually get up here in the first place. So they've managed to make their way around there, and now you can see they've got max units in support, and they're able to push forward.
Ooh, but this NC guy's going to come up right behind all
Let's
of
keep
them.
an eye on this NC Max, because he's actually coming right up behind them. Oh, hello. Looks like he's
Oh, he's been spotted.
This unit's
You
going to move
shouldn't really
back.
feel that guy's a threat, though.
Well, I mean, even then, if you're taking fire and they figure out where you are, there's an infiltrator on the top there. You've got what appears to be a light assault, maybe an engineer. It's tricky.
Oh, looks like he might get him. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he didn't see him. The NC are just drop potting in on top of that
Good way to do it.
base, yeah.
That's something you've always got to watch out for in Planetside, the vertical element.
Yeah, I mean,
There
high
could be people
ground,
on the roof at any time.
yeah, like we were talking about, you know, high ground is such an important aspect of battle, in terrain like this, and especially when you're going into combat, even like that's more rural, where you have buildings. Oh.
Yeah, quick attempt to jump onto the base there was shut down quite quickly.
Yeah.
It's another way of attacking. We haven't seen a lot of that so far. The mass use of light assault to bypass the pesky idea of having to go through the bottom door.
Yeah, I've only seen... I went with a crew one time, and we all suited up, and it was like 12 of us, which isn't that much. I mean, you could have more than that, but 12 of us jumping over on top of buildings was just... The people that were on the other side were like, turn around and run.
Oh, no, yeah. It's good that all
Yeah.
empires have access to this now, the ability to actually jump, and it adds a new element to the combat, but we're not seeing it used all that much. I think it's going to take a while before outfits and just general players work out the best ways to assault the base.
Yeah, definitely. And there's going to be different kinds of jump jets, so they'll be able to, mess around with which one's going to be best in what situation. But yeah, I think that, since the Vanu kind of have had the jump jet in the past, you'll see a lot more of them kind of utilizing that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, now it's capable for all light assaults to use it. So hopefully we'll see more gameplay with that.
I hope so, yeah. And when you've got a game that's got this much depth to it, it takes a while to figure out everything. But the piece of advice that you should always go back to is work with other players, because on your own you're going to do nothing. I mean, it's a big scale game. It's not a death match. You can't do crazy runs and actually make any difference. Killing someone in this game actually doesn't matter that much. Right? Kills in general is just not that important.
I mean, it depends. It's going to depend on the base. I mean, once we start getting in these bases where you can actually take out a generator that's going to take some spawn tubes down, you yourself could probably do a decent amount of damage there, but you are going to want other people to help you, because those generators are going to take a lot of damage.
Yeah.
You might not, depending on your class, be able to do that all on your own. So yeah, working together is very important. I mean, you can lone wolf it, but at least going into a base with other people, even if you're not squatted with them specifically.
Definitely.
But then you're not reaping the benefits of, experience boosts. So
That's a sneaky place to put it. So a Galaxy being deployed there off the
right
side.
behind
But
the ridge.
let's move on to a different base. These plains areas are absolutely lethal for infantry. You've got to be super careful out here.
Got a bunch of tanks right here.
Oh, hi.
They're like, this is ours.
3 vanguards is usually enough to get a lot done.
Oh, and something else that we were talking about is, even if you are trying to take a base all by yourself, some of those capture points will be taken faster the more people that are standing around that thing. So, it can be
Lone wolf
detrimental
play is
for
not
you.
necessarily encouraged. It's not impossible, but you have to have a great deal of patience.
Yeah, I think you can still do it and be all right. I mean, you have aircrafts, you can get around the battlefield.
Yeah.
But in the larger picture of things, you're still actually not really lone wolfing it.
No.
Here we go. Looks like these guys are actually all working together.
Yeah, which is very sensible. That area's now been taken, and that area's now been taken, actually. So TR falling back, unfortunately. And who has that base right now? That looks like it might be NC, or that might be just a quick crash. We shall flick over to someone else's view right now. Bear in mind, folks, this is very much a beta product, and we actually mean literally a beta product this time around. So, yep, going to flip over to Station 2 right now.
Right now you
see
can
what's
see
going on the map here. Oh, look, you see that one little
Yeah,
red hex in the middle of
TR
our
one.
territory?
Well, the Vanu has one right in between, like, the NC and the
Yeah,
TR
we're
right
getting
there,
pretty
too.
well hammered. I think our guys need to step it up a little bit.
And you guys have the population advantage right now as well, so...
I know what our guys
what are they doing?
They're slacking. They're slacking. They need proper leadership. I'm going to switch over to a more direct view now, and what you can see is an NC troop, Vanu troop.
This is
Sorry,
Vanu.
all these traitors roll together. It's really hard to tell the difference. Going to make his way down here, and dropping on top of a building this size, it can take a while to get all the way down, unless, of course, you happen to have a jetpack, in which case, problem solved. It's just going to send you right back up to the top.
And this is actually pretty much a
Oh,
guy
wow.
who's by himself right now. As you can see on the left-hand side here, this is our, our tech plant. And the Vanu don't own anything here.
And we see the rare specimen of an actual kill with a beamer. It happens.
He pulled it out, but it didn't do much.
That was a nice little engagement, actually. I always like to see the light assault just fly up in the air.
Yeah, they can be hard to track as well if you can't predict where they're going.
Well, Torch is going to be taken by Vanu. I don't think there's any question about that. They have every single point, which means there's nowhere whatsoever to spawn.
Well, you just saw right there that radial menu. We have a spotting system similar to, Battlefield 3 where you can queue and you can spot enemies, but you can also do that on friendlies, and it'll bring up a little radial menu that allows you to add friends, squad them, and that kind of stuff, so it's an easy access for that kind of thing.
That's really helpful. I haven't seen that before.
Oh, you haven't? Yeah,
no, I believe that.
Cool.
That must be quite recent.
And we're trying to make it a little bit better, because sometimes when someone's moving in front of you, it's a little hard to get
the most
in
intimidating thing you've ever seen. A bunch of purple guys on quad bikes coming in right now. This area is safe, so they don't really have to worry too much about that. There's a small effort by the TR to take back point B, as you can see flashing in the corner here. But once you get enough points, once you've got that bar all the way up to full, it's going to lock the base down for a while. It's going to make it unhackable.
Yep. That prevents a lot of backhacking that we've had in the past. If you've ever played Planetside, you'd get to a base and someone would just go in there and ghost hack it, and you're like, oh,
it's
great.
It's super frustrating. Nobody likes it. This gives some permanence to the whole thing. It allows you to... that's what I like to see. There we go. TR finally getting their asses in gear. But what I like to see is the fact that once you take a base, it's yours at least for a while. You've got time to organize, you've got time to push forward, and actually get out of that base and go to the next one. And it results in better combat. It results in better fighting and more fun for players.
Yeah, and usually in that case, when you are taking over the whole base, you do kind of have a foundation, so you own a lot of those bases. That way you're not, like, your courtyard's not full. But if it is, I would definitely recommend clearing that out.
Yeah. Then you see squad invite has been used via that new radial menu, so that's nice and easy. And, well, there's a pretty concerted effort to take this back, but it's not going to work out, I don't think. It looks like these guys have almost locked it, and once they've locked it, it's going to stay locked for a while. All of those control points will revert. The Vanu gunning down the remainder of the TR resistance.
And this is another thing that you might not know if you've played Planetside, is that, in Planetside 2 you can actually defend. So if you do, if, let's say, the Vanu did own this previously, which it looks like they did, now they're actually defending it, so they're trying to keep it. If the Terran Republic did get it, then it would lock and be theirs for a little while. But this allows them to actually gain the base back and not, get it taken back from them.
It's very hard indeed for that to happen. All right, we're going to switch back to our aerial view.
Ooh. Got a bunch of infantry right here.
Every view is a really good way of seeing the scale of combat. And this isn't even that big. I mean, it looks big. There's a lot of players involved in it. But on the ground here, you've maybe got 30, 40 players fighting over one little area. And you can potentially have thousands. Potentially.
Potentially, yes.
Obviously, that would be a very messy fight indeed.
Would be.
It would be good, though. Yeah. That's memorable.
I mean, you're going to get into situations that are going to be like that, where there are hundreds of people inside of, let's say this tower, who are just trying to get out, and you just have air that's all around, vehicles down on the ground, just covering the area, not letting you out.
Yeah, well, in that situation, I'll make sure you remembered your grenades.
Well, I would say also bringing in backup from another base and kind of pushing in that way would be another route.
Yeah, if you get locked in an area like this, it's really awkward to reliably get a vehicle out that is instantly destroyed.
Yeah.
So you've got to think, well, do I really want to be here, or can I be more useful if I go back to a nearby base and bring in heavier support from there? And then you've got to talk to the other people in your empire and say, well, we're in trouble, guys. If we keep spawning here, we're eventually going to lose. We're getting grounded at pace. We need help. Let's spawn at this base. Let's bring in 10 tanks, and let's see what we can do with that. At the moment, the Vanu holding this tower area and the outpost on top of the hill, which used to be NC, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, that was a while ago, though.
Yeah, it was.
They finally got up there.
Stuff
Their tank pushes.
Yes, very much so. Well, they did it right, whereas prior to it, the previous guys tried to just fight up the hill and they lost.
Yeah.
These guys went around the back, took the nearby spawn area, and then assaulted the tower on the ground, which is much more effective.
But they were still also assaulting it from, from
Yes.
that area. So they were like, oh, they were, focusing on those tanks where in the meanwhile, they were also backpacking.
Exactly. I mean, otherwise what ends up happening is if you're just assaulting from one direction, they get on top of the tower, they've got the height advantage, they just rain down rockets and max attacks from there. You can't deal with it.
Yeah. The height advantage is so important, and right now you're seeing people go to the top of the buildings.
Yep.
To try to get that.
Trying their best to deal with it. Galaxy dropship taking heavy fire is trying to get into position. A few max units on the side there.
I think that might be coming down to try to repair again.
Oh wow, that's a lot of mag riders.
Hopefully they all roll out together.
Oh wow, direct hit on the Galaxy dropship as it wheels around, takes a second hit to the underbelly, and that might be going down soon.
Did he drop anything? I don't think
I don't think he did. I don't think he had the chance to do it, and he's most likely going to go right into the side of the mountain. Could he pull up in time?
He's got a scythe following him, though.
He does. That
Oh, 4 or 5 more scythes just come around the corner.
A swarm of angry bees coming in. Down it goes. That was nicely picked up, and that's... Losing a ship like that, well, that's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you should never go in as a Galaxy without an escort. Because that will happen to you.
We're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing a lot of people just...
Yeah, well, I mean, what we're seeing right now is just
Gung-ho.
it's very much disorganized, Zergy kind of play, so... I think if you ever see a group of vehicles kind of moving together in an obvious squad play, it's so obviously more effective.
Yeah. Oh. That Liberator had no chance. Demolished.
No, I mean, if you... Holding air superiority is more crucial, and I think a lot of people realize if you've got a bunch of sites zipping around the place, you're not getting Galaxies in there, you're not getting Liberators in there. Liberators will wipe out anything on the ground to give them half a chance. TR own tower over in the distance there. There's a few Mag Riders head in that direction. That Mag Rider's bleeding badly. Second reinforcement coming in from there. There's one actually floating over in that direction.
Since
yeah, it's
we can't
making its way
really
into
see
that
the
outpost.
UI, we're not really sure where they're next.
Yep, that's TR
Looks like
held.
they might be going for this
It's
one.
a dangerous place to put a tank. Like, one guy with a rocket launcher on the roof could spell the end for that guy.
Well, yeah, if he's on top of the roof.
Well, there's one guy on the roof. I'm not sure if that's VS or TR. Jetpack trooper.
Looks like it's a Vanu. And this will be great to help them push up here. It's right next to the bridge, allows them to go up there. But again, the biolab has that height advantage.
It's difficult.
I think this would have been the right route. If they don't own this base down here, they should have gone for that.
Certainly.
It's closer. It's going to be easier for them to come back in there and respawn right with their vehicles from their other bases.
Yeah,
Looks like the TR are not going to allow that.
No, we're not. We don't like you. Absolutely not. Specifically you. And the rest of your faction, but...
Oh, come on. It's only because I'm killing them. Oh, look at he's trying to go down the hill.
Oh, dear.
And the Mag Rider is coming for him.
Yeah, the Lightning sliding down the side there. One Mag Rider versus a Prowler, a Sunderer, a Lightning. I don't fancy the Mag Rider's chances.
Well, that's
a brave Lightning.
Yeah.
Not going to be much left of it, I don't think. Mosquito coming in from the air as well.
Looks like he's missing a lot of his shots.
Oh, down he goes. Second Mag Rider comes in, and that Lightning is left without Prowler support. Oh, look at that. Actually, the Vanu being very sneaky.
Right,
you see them moving on the ridge above that convoy. Moving into position to shell it. 2 Mag Riders, a Lightning. We'll move behind that Mag Rider and see what happens.
There's a Lightning and a Mag Rider that are coming up from the other side, too.
Oh, ugly. Down goes the Prowler.
Just the Sunderer left.
Well, the Sunderer is pretty tough, but I wouldn't fancy his chances against a Mag Rider.
And the Lightning. There's Lightning there, too.
Lightning's not dead yet, but this is a really bad place for that Sunderer to be. It's got to retreat now, realizing. And that was a really nice example of sneaky play there by the Vanu, ambushing a convoy moving down in this particular canyon.
And I mean, the Terran, they were just too small of a squad. The Vanu got back up too quickly. I mean, they're right next to the base also, so they're a little outpost.
It's just crazy to me to think that this is a small battle.
Yeah.
It looks huge, but it's not. I mean, not right now, anyway.
This is very small in comparison to what could be going on right now.
Yeah, it'll be great to see that. Hopefully over the next couple of days we can try and get some of the outfits involved and see some real organized play.
Yeah, you always have to look at, you know, depending on what server that we're on, the gameplay times are going to be a lot different.
Yeah.
I think right now we're on a US server.
Definitely.
Like West Coast. You can see Biolab in the background there.
A couple of Sunderers rolling out with TR Liberator support.
Well,
I mean,
we
the
hope they're
Liberator's a nice...
supporting.
Sorry, go ahead.
I said we hope they're supporting.
There goes the Lib. I was going to say, Liberator's nice on its own, but you really need at least 2 more people in it to make it really effective. That front nose gun is very powerful, but it's a very slow, not so maneuverable aircraft, so it's a bit dangerous to engage in a firefight.
And if you're getting your angle as a Lib driver, a lot of the times you're not giving an angle to your bomber or your tail gunner.
Oh my god.
That's what we want to see.
Yeah. Sup, Vanu, we brought friends. Enjoy.
Oh no.
That's a lot of heavy assault. Oh, they've
they
got medics in the back as well. It's actually using his AoE healing ability. I hope you didn't light those Mag Riders because you're not going to have them in a minute.
That's pretty awesome.
That's sick. Look at that.
And this is small even in comparison. This is
well,
like,
I mean, that's about 20 people
squads,
all working together. Platoon size at the moment, it obviously just keeps changing. Subject change to the beta. It's about 50 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have 12 people in a squad, and then you can have about 4 or 5. And look at all those guys.
Number,
they're like
though.
little ants. Oh.
It's dangerous. That's Liberator fodder right there.
Yeah, just come in there and bomb them.
Yeah, that could very well happen. We want to follow these guys, actually. Let's see what they do, because this looks like an organized platoon here.
I want to see some vehicles support these guys.
Yeah. Is that a TR Sunderer over there? It looks like it, but there's a Mag Rider coming up behind it, so I hope these guys are ready to roll. I think they are, though. I wouldn't want to be a Mag Rider engaging against them. Look at that.
Oh, and they put down the spawn beacon right in the
Very
open
nice.
there. You do go down.
Yep, that's helpful. So we'll follow the platoon around for the moment and see what they're able to accomplish as a large group. I think there's a potential weakness there of anti-air. Maybe they don't have quite enough. Rockets are okay, but they're very slow, so they're easy to avoid. If you get a couple of maxes with burster flak cannons, well, that's a different matter entirely.
Yeah, they don't have any maxes.
No, they don't.
I'm not seeing any maxes with them.
It's all heavy assault by the looks of it.
And some medics.
Yeah. Heavy assault plus medic is a very durable combination.
Yeah,
because
we see a medic right there with the
yeah,
little
you've got the
backpack.
heavy assault shield, and then you've got the ability to heal in the background. So this can work out well.
And then it looks like we might have some engineers too, because I'm seeing some deployed ammo packs.
Yeah, I think so. If they're firing this many rockets, you only have about 5, so you want ammo packs in the background to keep you replenished. But I think that base is going to go down very soon. If these guys keep pushing with this kind of ferocity, there's 2 Mag Riders over there. They're about to have a very bad day.
And something that you're seeing them do is they're pushing from tree to tree. They're like finding cover and running for it.
It's really smart.
Yeah, it's smart, but the run between is kind of dangerous.
It's dangerous, yeah. And with that many people, though, it's so scary to try and actually get over there.
Got a little...
It's a lone little
flash.
quad bike, yeah. Moving to the next tree. Oh my, there's aircraft coming in from it. They've got to watch out for that.
Oh, they look like a bunch of little ants.
Now pushing to the next tree line.
Although they are pretty spread out, so if someone did come and try to bomb them, it might not.
Yeah.
They might not take them all out. And some of those medics could revive.
Yeah.
That guy's getting revived
Doing
right
it
there.
right now, yeah.
Oh.
Hello, Mag Rider. Oh. You
I just
should
wanna
have
see
stayed
them
in bed
explode.
this morning. So many rockets.
Oh, maybe he's going to try to run
He's
them
going
over.
right in. He's going in. Oh, there's nothing left of him.
They did take some casualties, though. We're seeing a few guys down.
We've still got plenty of troops. One thing the TR's got is a lot of manpower. Scythe coming in.
Oh, he just mowed them down. That was epic.
Oh.
Oh.
Guy
I
thinks
hope
he's in a
he's videotaping
thresher.
that.
That was beautiful. I'll admit.
I was
I'll
not
admit.
expecting that. I
That's
thought he was
one way of
gonna
clearing
crash,
him out.
yeah. They did make it to the bridge so
They
far.
did. This can get very dangerous for infantry. It's very easy to bomb this area, but right now there's no air support, so the TR are continuing to push forward. Scythe comes in. What's nice is the ability to take cover to the left or the right here as you try to cross the bridge.
Yeah, and anything that comes down here, like long hallways, are just a death trap.
Oh, they have Prowler support now. And a place to rearm, so that's very handy.
And they're continuing, as you see that spawn beacons, just they keep plopping that down every time they push forward. And that's costing whoever the squad leader is resources as well.
I have to wonder if these guys will maybe try and roll some vehicles now. Appears to be a Vanu Liberator coming around the side. You want to watch out for that.
They can I think they can only grab a flash from this base.
If they all get in flashes, that will be all I need to ever see. We
Look
used
at
to
all
do
the
that in
spawn
Planetside 1. It
beacons.
was cute.
There's so many spawn beacons.
Some of them are switching out to max units now. Turrets have been deployed.
That guy's using like his assault rifle or carbine to shoot an aircraft.
It's not usually the best way to deal with them. You do a tiny little bit of damage, but...
Oh, here's a Vanu.
Sunderer
A
crash
Vanu bus.
coming in. Oh, no more
wow.
Sunderer for you.
I don't think it had anyone in it.
Rightfully so. This is our base. Belongs to the Terran Republic, and it's staying that way. Now they've got a good position to shell that bridge and move forward to the next objective. And it's good that we're seeing an example of this, actually, because we've been talking this entire show about, organized operations. These are great. And then we're seeing a lot of disorganized stuff. And then you see what a couple of squads can do. Just,
this is just a couple. This isn't
this
like
is
a full
two squads.
platoon.
I mean, I'd estimate between 20 and 25 people here.
Yeah.
With no vehicle support, able to do huge things on their own. Think about what a platoon can do that's twice that size. Then think about what an outfit can do that has multiple platoons. Magarite is being very sneaky, positioning itself in such a way that it's very difficult to take out.
Oh, there's a whole column.
All right. Well, they can't cross the bridge because they're taking so much rocket fire from that base.
Yeah, I think the best thing for them is going to be to take a Liberator, a couple Liberators, maybe a couple sites, bombard that courtyard area, that little outpost that they have, and then start pushing out. And leave these guys here, and then once those bombs come down, then start making them go in there. While they're all distracted and running into the buildings, then, take your mag riders up the hill. But, I mean, it's not like they can spawn vehicles from this post. I think the only thing they can pull from here is a flash.
Which will get you killed very quickly, especially against mag-rider tanks. The Vanu are pushing on this position. It's proving to be a little bit difficult for the TR to deal with. A max unit comes along the side there, and it's taking fire from two troopers there. But bringing down a max with just an assault rifle is very difficult. Takes a lot of work, as you can see. The max unit doesn't really care. Finally, he's taken out.
Even in the daytime, look at all those red tracers.
Yeah. If this was nighttime, you'd be seeing a lot more of that.
They're not hitting anything, though. They're just shooting.
I mean, they're actually trying to suppress the amount of vehicles coming in that direction.
Oh, there we go. We got a lib.
Yeah, I don't think he's got a bombardier, though. So if you don't have anyone in the artillery slot, you've got to... It's like an AEC-130 gunship now. It's a big, giant howitzer strapped to the bottom of the Liberator. It can fire 10 shots before reloading, if I recall correctly, and it just levels a base. The TR are using cover. They're using medics in the back. Anyone that goes down gets reinforced, brought right back on their feet. They're able to put a lot of suppressing fire in the direction of that bridge, and the mag riders can't cross it. There's too many rockets. Yeah,
they're doing a really good job supporting their teammates. I think a lot of the times you see people not reviving each other, and that's like a big portion of the battle. It allows it to keep going. Looks like we are getting some people across this bridge, though.
Yeah, eventually.
They're using those little pockets.
Yeah,
and then running really fast between them.
Smart thing to do, but there's so many rockets. It's so difficult.
Look
at that. Oh, that was expensive. Another Sunderer. Is that TR? Is that friendly?
I think it's friendly.
No, it isn't.
Well, it's their friendly. It's TR.
Is it friendly? Oh, yes, it is. There you go. Well, it might have been friendly. We're not going to know anymore.
I don't know what he was trying to do to get up there. He should have just, like, parked
Yeah.
right there and had them all jump in it.
Nothing can live anywhere near this base. It just gets obliterated.
I'm wondering what happened to that Liberator.
Probably got destroyed, just like everything else is. And these guys are holding this base area really well, and it's entirely legitimate. You might think, oh, well, why are they not moving forward? Oh, this is not valuable. It is valuable. If they hold this area, then that gives a great place for the TR to spawn to attack other places, and not to mention the resource gain they get from it. These guys are pumping up their resource counts.
Yeah,
by
that
fighting.
Liberator did, like, look, it's already smoking, and it
Yeah.
just got across here. Not that I would have gone that direction. I think he should go up and around, like maybe through that desert area, and
Yeah.
then come back, and that would be a better way. Because they're all on the front ridge right there. They're not paying attention to their back end.
Yeah, you know, some vehicles are being able to flank it, and almost like they're listening to you right now. The Sunder is going
Yeah.
around the side, away from the main firing line, to try and crash into that position.
That is the way I would do it.
Yep. More Vanu pushing towards the base. Ooh, that's a TR infiltrator.
Oh, that is.
Don't know what he's going to be able to do. If anything comes out of that, he'll be able to snipe it very easily.
He just cloaked.
Just for the moment, anyway. There's a second TR
Oh.
infiltrator behind him. Unfortunately, sniper rifles don't do much there, but ooh, I think that was a little... Ah, TR Liberator comes in to try and shell that area.
And they're just running.
And rightfully so. There's a lightning there. Don't want to be
And the more
anywhere
you
near that.
move, the more visible you are as an infiltrator, so...
There are times, though, when if there's a lightning barreling down on you, you just got to get out of the way.
Yeah. Something I like doing with those is I just, like, stand right on the vehicle, and then
Yeah.
they can't shoot me.
It works. TR Prowler, 2 TR Prowlers now moving in. Giant tanks
Yeah,
with
the
double
Vanu are
barrel
not
guns.
going to come from the
Very
back there.
powerful. That vehicle support could prove to be invaluable here. One of the Prowlers is up.
Oh. Oh.
Tony Hawk's Extreme
And he
Lightning.
still landed it. I thought he was going to flip over.
I think that was a kickflip twist 720. You don't get points for that, though, in this game, I'm afraid.
They
TR
got
made
blew
sure
up
they
by
didn't
those
live all
rocket
that long.
Yeah.
I think of all the vehicles, if I was to rank the top 3 vehicles that I wouldn't go near that base in, I think it would probably
Lightning.
be Scythe, Flash, and Lightning.
Yeah.
Getting something nice and heavy. A Galaxy drop here could be effective, but I think that your idea of Liberator bombering is probably the best one. Get a few Liberators, get at range, and start shelling that base.
I think having that tank support is definitely something that they're going to want to do, but I think they need to clear that area and then start pushing.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not really working out for them at the moment.
Oh, is he crashing?
Ooh, yeah, that Mosquito wasn't going anywhere there. I think that's the other problem as well. TR can't get vehicle support in here either because there's just so much going on. Air support is non-existent. That tower on the ridge is spawning consistent air vehicles and has a lot of anti-air fire of its own.
And you have that choke point as a bridge, so unless they go up around, take it from that high ground where they were before,
Yep.
it's going to be a little bit difficult.
Lightning tank bravely charges the position only to be horribly murdered.
Ooh, Scythe coming right at the camera.
So much anti-air fight. I think that's about 3 or 4 burster maxes down there. So there's a lot of sights in the air, but they're going down so quickly. It's very hard to make anything work with it.
And they're not going together. They're like one at a time going at it.
Yeah.
It's not very beneficial for them. Unless they have some
Definitely.
rocket pods, they might be able to disperse some of the area, but
Down goes another aircraft. This is a death trap.
that was a TR aircraft, though.
I love that the Vanu are continuing to push on this base and nothing is happening. They're just...
Well, they keep
Holy
pulling these
crap.
tanks, and they just keep going one at a time, you know, through the...
Hurrah, hurrah. 2 by 2. Let's see. Well, they've got what?
2?
About 7 Mag Riders, 2 Lightnings. The
6,
thing is,
yeah.
they're splitting their forces up.
Yeah, it looks like they're going
Some-
down that bridge also.
Yeah, maybe they've just given up trying to cross the bridge. I don't blame them. I mean, look, good lord. Even with that much firepower, breaking an organized defense like that is incredibly difficult.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what they're planning on doing from this direction.
I think they're just going to retreat and try and take a different base because they're just taking too many losses here. They lose a lot of resources by losing that many vehicles. They could take that NC base much easier. Looks like there's very little defense there, so they could just push out a different part of the map. And sometimes you just got to cut and run.
Sometimes.
You can be as determined as you like, but if you then run out of resources because you're bleeding out main battle tanks and galaxy dropships and liberators on a base where you've just got an organized squad of people with rocket launchers taking them down all the time,
Yeah, and that affects everybody. So if your whole team is all pulling mag riders and you're all waiting on timers, you're all waiting on resources, you're going to be all sitting there and sitting ducks and not going to be able to push out. So that's why you see a lot of them pulling lightnings, I'm assuming, is because they don't have the resources to pull the bigger tanks.
Yeah, lightnings are cheap. Flashes even more so.
Yeah.
The flash, you can also get an implant, which allows you to spawn a flash whenever you want. It has no cooldown anymore, so that's always an idea. It's nice to forget from A to B, but that's really all a flash does.
Yeah, flashes get you where you need to go, and that's about it. You can kind of kite around. I mean, if you have a whole squadron of flashes, like these guys, if they were all on flashes, they could probably do some big damage, because they are pretty fast.
Yeah, the main problem is if you take one hit on a flash, that's it, you toast.
Yeah. There's a risk.
Well, right now we have a stalemate situation and a stalwart defense there by the Terran Republic, who flat out refuse to let anyone cross the bridge and anyone take that base.
They're still trying.
They are trying. There's about three.
Oh, nice.
Like
I didn't
five
notice
mag
that.
riders.
They had a Sunderer right in there helping
Make that
repair
4
them.
mag riders.
So what it looks like they're trying to maybe do, or maybe this isn't what they're trying
If
to
the
do.
Sunderer goes first, they can maybe get the mag riders across the bridge.
Yeah, maybe if they got a whole bunch of Sunderers and pushed out.
Yeah, use the Sunderers to take the fire, because they're
but
so tough.
They're not even going with him. He's all by himself.
Yeah. Well, they're scared, and do you blame them? The Sunderer parks. That's a good place to park it. You repair the Sunderer, then use the Sunderer as a command and control vehicle to fix up any...
I think they need to be a little bit more behind that rock, because they're still getting hit by the rock.
I think the Manu just dropped a scythe on top of the Sunderer.
Yeah.
That's one way to get rid of it, I guess. Friendly fire. Alright, folks. Well, we are actually reaching 5 o'clock, which means I will sadly have to leave.
Unfortunately.
Much as I would love to continue watching this fight. But it's good to finally see some really nice organized outfit play here. And hopefully we'll see a lot more of that over the next few days. There's going to be quite a bit more Planetside coverage coming to you live here from the Twitch channel and the Planetside booth. If you want to come check it out, you can do that. We are on the 4th floor in one of the main expo halls at
to the
PAX
right,
Prime
right
in
when
Seattle.
you go through the door.
Yeah, it's hard to miss, really. So
yep.
just look for the really, really loud area. That's usually
we have a DJ.
Yeah, we do have a DJ here. So please, by all means, come check it out if you're at PAX. If you're not, well, check out the website. Sign up for a chance to get into the beta. And you could be trying this yourself shortly.
Yeah, and don't forget to use our hashtag at PS2 PAX so that we can see you on our live feed here.
Yeah, certainly. Join the discussion. That would be absolutely fantastic. Any feedback that you got is always very much appreciated. All right, well, we're going to wrap this up then. Margaret, thank you very much once again.
Thank you again.
It was a pleasure. I shall no doubt see you tomorrow with yet more Planetside action. Keep an eye on our Twitters, folks. We do actually have Twitter. I could bring that up for you right now. Usually a good idea if you want to see when the stream's coming on. So if you check out our Twitter right down there, I will tweet at Totalbiscuit. Maggie will tweet at Perfect Storm if we happen to have a stream coming on. So also you can follow our Twitch channel. Actually, if you follow there's the Sony channel, which is...
We have SOE.
Yeah,
and
SOE.
Then Sony Online, I think it might be.
Twitch.tv.
And then Planetside 2 is also our
Yes,
Planetside
indeed. So
2
there's 3 there. If you follow them on Twitch, it'll email you when they go live. You can also follow twitch.tv/Totalbiscuit and twitch.tv/Twitch, which is where we may be streaming as well. So usually a good idea. We'll try and keep you up to date on this, and we'll be posting some VODs over at youtube.com/CynicalBrit.
I think our NDA is up, so...
It is, NDA is gone. So you'll be seeing a lot more footage from Planetside going forward. More streams, more VODs, everything you could possibly want. All right, we're going to wrap it up, folks. Thank you very much for watching here from PAX Prime 2012, and we will see you tomorrow.